I have went through so many predominantly strange, stressful, just terrible experiences in my life, and like looking back at a period, I'm like, oh my god, that was terrible. Lately, I've been watching old videos and looking at old pictures, and I go, "Aw," or like laugh out loud about them, or I'm just like, all of this to say, I've been taking the good out of everything and holding it. I know that when I start to deteriorate one day, I am going to be so filled with hatred about myself if all I took with me was the pain that I went through. If I made that my entire guide to live by. I don't want to get to that point and just fizzle away with only pain. I had a pretty large relationship. I said it like that. My only relationship I've ever had, it lasted a long time. It was a pretty decent chunk of my life, and we both went through some severe things together. And I don't want to like say the whole story, but I'm at a point now where like literally the past couple days I've been kind of going through my camera roll and just clearing up storage, and like I obviously still have pictures of my ex. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I moved on, but like that period of our lives together is never gonna be something I'm gonna take away, ever. Okay, we both went through some severe shit together, and I've been looking back at pictures of us and like videos and just laughing my ass off because it was so funny. We had such a good time outside of the things we went through together. You know what I mean? Like, I truly cherish what we did have that made me smile. Whatever terrible things that got taken away from that, I'm not gonna only hold that with me, even if it is a factor. Because I don't want to be 5 years, I don't want it to be 5 years. I don't want to be 25 and still crushing myself with things that I could just not hold. It's challenging to look at a situation that caused you so much pain and be like, oh, but there was this good. It's tricky, especially with other periods of my life. Let me talk about that. 2016 into early spring 2017, that was a specifically really traumatic time in my life, and I look back on that now, I'm like, why did I have to go through that? That was terrible. I did the best I could, and what I did was so challenging, and I'm so proud that I was able to find a way so young, and the things that I did, I'm proud, and that's like a positive factor to it. I really dove into my creative side during that time. And I was living somewhere very horrible, but I still was as creative. I wish I was still that creative, dude. And even current things in my life now, if I'm going through a stressful time, it's not about like completely ignoring the fact that it's not like I'm being too positive, because I can be overly positive sometimes. I kind of annoy myself sometimes with that. I obviously still get really fucking stressed. I still obviously get so confused. I'm not this picture perfect person. I fall apart. I have trouble sometimes, obviously. Everybody fucking has trouble. I do things. I do things. I feel things and I do things. Sometimes still there's certain situations that like predominantly make me want to put my fist through some drywall. And I still complain. I limit myself from complaining. I want to be known as the person who never had anything positive to say. So what I do is I just try to like take good out of a situation all the time. But sometimes it's a little hard. I'm just a girl. I be feeling things. I be going through it sometimes. Because like I said, I don't want to get to like 25 and still be the person who's takes the light out of a room when I walk in, because I'm just sucking all of the positivity away. When we feel things that are not definable and all we know is pain and we make that our lives, I get that. I'm not dismissing any of that. I was that person. That's why I talk about these things so much. That's why I try to like explain. In every one of my videos, I feel like I catch myself saying I used to be like this, because I want to share like a journey with people. I want to share how things can change in our lives for the better. What was I saying? I just forgot. What was I saying? Yeah. What was I saying? You can complain. Please, I encourage people to complain about what's pissing them off, but don't make it your entire personality to be negative, because that will just push so many people away from you. And hurting people before they hurt you is such a shitty thing to think. Change that mindset, because I get how that is, like, having a victim mentality where you think everybody's out to get you, or you think that if you're the first to do something, it won't happen to you. I'm sorry, but none of that is going to fix things. Maybe you're not trying to fix things, you're living in what you know, but it's not going to get you anywhere. We need to fall apart. We need to just explode into sadness on the floor sometimes. There's no way around that. Pretending that you don't fall apart will not make it stop. Will not make any of the pain stop. Like, we have alleviated ourselves time after time, one way or another. Okay? We have. I have. You definitely have. No matter what. Maybe you wish you could have solved a problem differently, or if you had better skills, or a better this, a better that, this would happen. But you done it. You did it either way, and it's done, and you're still kicking it. Worrying about what you could have done or what should have happened. I've written novels and novels about stuff like that. I've just written everything I possibly can. I don't think I could find new words to describe the way I feel about certain things, but it's written down somewhere, and that's all that matters to me. Anyway, like I said earlier, I'm never gonna stop myself from, like, being pissed off about something, or complain, or bawl my eyes out for 2 hours straight. I will always, always, always do that. I will always feel my emotions to the fullest height that they need to go, because I wouldn't want to live a life any other way. I'm fully aware that I may not always have a positive effect on people's lives. I will always try to be a very positive person for people, but I probably won't always be the greatest person in their life, just because that's just what happens. Astonishment and wonder at what we feel when we encounter something that differs from what we would expect. But this whole entire world is something we only experience once. So how is it? Let me actually read you the quote. I don't know. I thought I knew it from the top of my head. Erwin Schrödinger. Hold on. I have a notebook of all of the quotes from, not all of the quotes, but a lot of quotes. Don't look at me like that. From the book My View of the World by Erwin Schrödinger, because I had a little philosophy phase this summer, and I was, like, writing down everything that I was like, whoa, dude, yeah, philosophy, dude. I mean, I still am like that, but astonishment and wonder are what we feel on encountering something that differs from what is normal, or at least from what is, for some reason or other, expected. But this whole world is something we only encounter once. We have nothing with which to compare it, and it is impossible to see how we can approach it with any particular expectation. Yet we are astonished. We are puzzled by what we find, yet unable to say what we should have found in order to not be surprised, or how the world should have been constructed in order to not constitute a riddle. Only get to encounter this once. I mean, if you believe in reincarnation. A thought I had today was I must have been reincarnated. I must have died in a natural disaster, because when I was a kid, I had this weird fascination with, like, floods and tornadoes and, like, earthquakes and shit, and I would always, like, go outside after watching a bunch of YouTube videos about, like, tornadoes and just be like, oh, like, romanticizing, like, 7-year-old me was such a psychopath. Like, girl, go back inside. I live somewhere where there's never tornadoes, so, like, I don't know. I thought about the day. I was like, did I die in a tornado in my past life? Whatever. Anyway, if you don't have an answer for why, don't lose your mind trying to find one. Don't be a detriment to your own development by trying to search for an answer you're never gonna find. Sometimes we don't have the answers, and that's okay. Sometimes pain happens and we don't have a reason for why it does. I did this entire year. I literally put so much reliance and, like, put such a high expectation on myself to always figure things out no matter what, and I take pride in my ability to do that sometimes, but when I set the expectation so fucking high and I'm like putting puzzle pieces that literally don't fit, but I'm trying to shove them in place so fucking hard, that's not the answer, Sarah. Come on, Sarah Lynn, what are we doing? Like, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. It never has been, so why would it be now? I doubt myself. I question my abilities sometimes. I get overwhelmed. I get insecure. I get sad and confused because I'm a person. Not everybody has a problem that they want solved immediately. They just want to feel the feelings of it. And that is 100% okay. But there has to come a point. There has to come a point where you have to take an action. Regarding what you're feeling. We want change so bad. We're like, why is nothing changing? Why is everything around me staying the same? It's all the same. Nothing's new. Everything's the same. If we're not experiencing something, the only thing left to do is to create the change that we want. I'm acting from the values of from the value. Did I say that word right? Values? I don't know why that word sounded incorrect to me. I'm acting from the values of the person that I needed my entire life, that I still need. If I level up being who I want to be and also being a person I need, that sets up such a strong foundation for me. I don't know how and when it started, but I made it like my outro thing on YouTube to say at the end, be the light. And I low-key want to get that tattooed. Is that crazy? Should I do that? I have a couple tattoo ideas because I don't have a tattoo yet. And I want one. I want multiple, but I don't have one yet. Anyway, I'm not always right. I don't always have the answers for everything. But I'll try. I'll just try to be the best I can be. Anyway, yeah. That's the end of this. Please take the good out of situations. And hold that with you. Because it'll be such a burden on yourself to just only hold the pain. I know it's hard, but you got it, okay? Be the light if you don't see it in the world. Become it. This experience is so precious. And I wouldn't want to withhold myself in any situation to give somebody what they need to hear. Don't tell yourself you're never going to find a way, because then you won't. It's all about your mindset, dude. All about your mindset. All right. I love you. Have a great rest of your day.